Chair Bernie, County Commissioners, it is a distinct pleasure to bring forward the initial Community Benefits Bidding Program Award this morning. I realize the staff with me today, Sean Waite from Facilities and Jeff Kincaid, Management Analyst, are perfectly capable of presenting today's item. However, I wanted the opportunity to share this particular moment where inspired vision meets clear action. Not only does this board order involve 3 programs that I have the honor to support and oversee, parole and probation, facilities, and financial services, it intersects with a long-standing passion and commitment of the board chair. Chair Bernie, this is your great good work coming to fruition. In your awarding this contract, we are making good on your vision to use county dollars to do good and necessary work in a manner that advances living wages, healthcare, and essential professional trade education in our community. I expect great things from this initiative. I also expect that we will learn a lot and continuously improve the program as we learn. Several staff members are not with us this morning who deserve recognition for their effort to bring this initiative about. I was pleased to hear from our partners in the trades recognizing their work, but I'd like to add my public appreciation. And that includes Jim Cheney, Assistant County Counsel, and Clay Stillwell, Procurement Manager. With that, let me turn this over to Sean Waite and Jeff Kincaid to share the happy details.
Chair Bernie, Commissioners, would like to speak a little bit about the process for the pre-qualification. We did pre-qualifications that closed in November. We received 30 applicants. We didn't receive any protests for the process or concerns, except for timing and deadlines for the pre-qualification, and I'll speak to that a little bit later. And then we have worked very closely. I want to give credit to the trade unions. They spoke earlier during public comment, and then again reiterate the work that Clay Stillwell, Mike Penwell, Jim Cheney, all of us really worked very well and hard to get this in place. So we're very excited about applying this to this first project. Again, we did not see an increased price by initiating the pre-qualification process with this project. That was one of the things that staff has really been watching to see if this was going to increase costs for the county by implementing this program. This first project has proven that at least in this case, has not occurred. We have been responding to a lot of questions from contractors. One of the things that I found quite interesting is that one of the requirements is to establish a apprenticeship program. And so as we were working through the pre-qualification process, there was approximately 13 companies that had not previously had an apprenticeship program and now have or in the process applying for an apprenticeship program. So right there, this program shows that it's making a community impact and changing behavior with our construction areas. We are applying this also to the Developmental Disability Services Project, and that is currently out for bid. Again, we are receiving feedback that the deadlines, we need to probably adjust those, and we will be back in March to talk to the board about the outcomes of these 2 projects and applying the pre-qualification process. And then also, as the trade union spoke to earlier in public comment, making some recommendations to refine the process to make it, one, smoother for the contractors and also smoother for staff to implement. So with that, if there are any questions, Jeff or I would be happy to answer those.
Or Greg. Are there any questions for any commissioners or comments? Commissioner Trieger.
Thank you, Chair Bernie. I just wanted to appreciate the work. Of course, you all have been here doing the heavy lifting, and particularly to you, Chair Bernie, for taking this initiative on and carrying it through. I am really honored to be here at the time that we get to potentially adopt the first contract that actually implements this really important literal community benefit. It is not only going to benefit the workers from the companies with which we contract, but as Ms. Waite pointed out, this is really a part of helping the broader community see and understand and learn from and move toward a culture of affordability and quality jobs and living wages and healthcare all go together. And it's really important that the county as an employer and as a contractor can model for the community that these essential pieces of worker dignity and of good business planning can be done within a budget, that the constraint around treating workers right and providing families in our community what they need to be healthy and whole is not cost prohibitive. And so I'm just so thrilled to be part of an organization that is modeling being a workplace of the future. And I want to really appreciate as well from the public comment, I think it was Mr. McGilvray who made a comment that many of these companies hadn't previously considered medical insurance covered by the employer, or as Ms. Waite mentioned, apprenticeship programs. So these are companies I researched a bit who were considering awarding the contract to, who are doing big projects in multiple organizations within our community. So the fact that they're able to shift to providing better wages and protections and benefits for their employees and still have a viable, thriving business is just a tremendous thing. And I'm thrilled to be a part of it. Thank you very much.
But thank you so much. I know Commissioner Buck had her hand up.
Thank you, Chair. I would have said many of the same praise that Commissioner Traeger said. I know that our staff has worked really hard, but this is a statement of our community values. And I'm just so proud that this has come to fruition and we're seeing the actual on the ground ramifications of hiring somebody who, you know, helps the community with good paying jobs, good paying benefits, and supporting the community in which they live. And thank you, Chair Berney, for all of your efforts in making this happen. And don't feel like just because you're a chair, you cannot state how you feel about this project or anything on the agenda. It's welcome.
Well, in that case, in that Commissioner Buck is more my immediate mentor in being chair. Let me just, if I may say, this is huge. And we did not know what results would come in. And I have to say this, I don't want to even risk, rubbing my good friend Commissioner Bozovich the wrong way. I really don't. But I will say, here's an example, two things. One is one of the general contractors that bid for this job and did not get it, nonetheless has changed their policies and provides full employer funding of full family health insurance moving forward. So I would hesitate to guess that we're not seeing those cost increases in this particular project. And although your statement is correct, what the board's immediate concern was a year and a half ago as it related to cost was that imposing these kinds of values into how we actually do business might increase the cost of projects beyond what we have budgeted. And while you're right, sir, we're not comparing apples to apples. We do know that implementing this did not, in fact, increase project costs beyond what staff had anticipated and budgeted. I just want to also share, and Greg, I can't thank you enough for your comments. Really, truly, there's a part of me that feels like, okay, I'm done, but I'm not done. But the warm welcome staff has given. This also, in addition to the comments commissioners made, this protocol also enables us to partner with groups that allow us to achieve our values of inclusion, because a part of this relates to reaching out to groups of people who have historically been excluded from full workforce participation in these areas and prioritizing them to recruit into registered apprenticeship programs. It allows us to partner with groups that can prioritize our value of targeting as many of these jobs locally and recycling money locally so people can afford their lives locally as possible. It also identifies a floor of renewable energy rather than a ceiling of what the legislature put in place last biennium, which was 1.5% of the construction costs should go towards renewable energy on projects $4 million or more. So it has been a huge staff lift. It has been unbelievably appreciated. And there are enough counties that have now contacted us so that Senator Manning is introducing legislation so that those counties, they might not have our values, they might have other priorities, that those counties can in fact have bidding protocols that reflect their priorities without all the work required of Lane County staff when they do that. So thank you very much. That's all I have to say.